Hello folks, welcome to another video by the brilliant expat Taffy. A video titled Moon Hoax, Proof Apollo is Fake and Believers Are Idiots. And we've got whistleblowers confirmation of that, folks. Now folks, what we're going to be dealing with here in this video is a newly discovered clue, a whistleblower's clue discovered by the brilliant expat Taffy. A clue that's exclusive to Apollo 11. A clue that's telling us it's impossible for these photos to have been taken as they are with a camera, that they're all faked. You might have had parts of them taken with cameras but stitched together to make up a complete photo, but a clue telling us they could have not been taken with one camera as they are displaying, and could not have been taken on the moon, folks. And the proof of that is coming up. Okay folks, what I intend doing with this video here now regarding this whistleblower's clue is, instead of me just displaying the clue to you, what I want to do is just display a number of photos that have got this clue, and then I'll display a number of photos that have not got it, and give you all the chance to see if you can spot it yourself. We'll treat this video as a learning exercise, folks. Give you all a chance to study the photos and see if you can spot it. A deliberate inserted whistleblower's clue exclusive to Apollo 11. You will not find it in any other mission. And you will see it proves that the photos are fake. Now, before I display all these photos, let me just say one thing that I've said time after time before. Just remember, 4 or 5 years ago, there were 20, 30, maybe 40 NASA shills taking on the brilliant expat Taffy. And now today, they've all gone, folks. There's only 3 rats that refuse to leave the sinking ship. And the 3 of them are Arsetrobrant, Bertie Slackarse and Bryanpoprobson. However, 2 of the idiots, Arsetrobrant and Bertie Slackarse, are too afraid to come out of their rat hole. They won't come out unless they've got a different cloak identity. However, the numbskull Poprobson is still displaying his stupidity. Now folks, before I proceed displaying these photos, let's all have a minute's silence for this moron, shall we? Let's say a prayer for this idiot. Gone but not forgotten. Yes folks, gone but not forgotten, but now reincarnated as this idiot here. Reincarnated as Matt Kent. Matt Kent, whose tool was a little bit bent. To save himself trouble, he put it in double, and instead of him coming, he went. Yes, folks, reincarnated as Matt Kent. Like I've told this numbskull before, if you want to beat me, it's a new brain you need, not a new ID. Now, what we've got with this Matt Kent, he's trying to deny that he's anyone else. He's just himself. This is his name. But he didn't realize that he's up against the brains here. What we've got is idiots up against the genius. And as I have always told these idiots, they are the idiots, I am the genius. Now, this Matt Kent denies that he's Arsetrobrant in another ID. But let me show you some of the proof of what I am claiming. Okay folks, what we'll do here is take a look at a post by this mentally insane psychopath Arsetrobrant, and you'll soon see why he's done a runner. He's afraid to show his face. It follows a discovery of mine, a whistleblower's clue, where I discovered the head of a pink flamingo in an Apollo 11 photo. And here's his post in response to that. The flamingo is one of several examples of expat taffy's pareidolia. Sure, there's a small piece of one photo that resembles a flamingo's head. He thinks that's significant, like his cat, security guard under the lem, a bird on the back of a turtle, Roger Rabbit, a door latch, licorice candy, hinge, brick, and mongoose. You see, what this message contains is, he believes that everything I've discovered is just imagination, pareidolia. Well, take a little look at the photo yourself and see if you think it's pareidolia. There you are. There it is. Look at that little figure in the footpad of Buzz Aldrin's Apollo 11 lem. Like his mum, he's pink. Like his mum, he's got a bent down beak. Like his mum, he's got a white eye. And like his mum, he's got a black pupil. He's got a pink head. And he's got a long thin neck. Now according to that, Arsetrobrant first claimed it was a piece of pink bubblegum that Buzz Aldrin spat out as he came down the ladder. Okay folks, let's take a look at the second part of this moron's post here, shall we? He goes on to say, yeah, this guy who incessantly refers to himself as brilliant, yes, quite right, I agree with that, and a genius, thinks a NASA whistleblower composited Roger Rabbit into an original Apollo photo almost 20 years before the character existed. Well, that's not correct, is it? Because Roger Rabbit was created in the early 90s after Photoshop was introduced, and that's the time that I told you the majority of photos were made, and made using Photoshop. Another thing folks, you just look at the photo coming up and you'll see this Roger Rabbit in the visor. There he is folks, at the top of the figure, which is supposed to be Neil Armstrong taking a photo, and he hasn't got any camera, his arms are down to his side. On his head you can see quite clearly the head of a rabbit with two long ears sticking up, and he's smoking a black cigar. And Arsetrobrant's first comment on this was, everybody knows that faces can be spotted in clouds. He first tried to say that there was clouds on the moon. Now, what I want to point out about this moron here, folks, is his speech comes in 4 categories. And amazingly enough, those 4 categories are exactly the same as the rhetoric in 4 categories by his reincarnated self, Matt Kent. Now, you'll see from that post just now, he mentioned the mongoose. Well, first 4 clues I showed to this idiot was a rat, a bird on the back of an armadillo, a seahorse, and a mongoose. And when first pointed out to Arsetrobrant, he claimed they were extraterrestrials. Now folks, the next thing about this moron, he's always insisting that it's the brilliant expat taffy that is schizophrenic and insane, and exactly the same rhetoric we get from his successor Matt Kent. Further proof again who Matt Kent is, isn't it? Another thing about this moron, Arsetrobrant, he's always insisting that the photos cannot be photoshopped because Photoshop was not out in the late 60s or early 70s. He's too thick to realise that if the photos were photoshopped, they were made or modified after 1989. And the same goes for his successor, Matt Kent. And another thing about Arsetrobrant, folks, he always ducked the question. He would never answer a question. He was afraid to put a post in his own ID because he knew he could soon be made to look a right prat. And exactly the same goes for his successor, Matt Kent. Okay, folks, let's get down to business now with me displaying photos containing this newly discovered whistleblower's clue by the brilliant expat Taffy that's going to prove that all the photos are fake. Now, I displayed this photo in my previous video, and I told you there that the whistleblower's clue is in this photo, folks. Okay? Now, this clue, as I just said, is exclusive to Apollo 11. Now, I'm going to show you a series of photos here now that has got this whistleblower's clue, and then I'll show you a series of photos that has not got it. And you can all study the photos for a couple of weeks and see if you can find it. And what I'll do as well, folks, I'll shut up all the NASA nutcases like Bertie Slackarse and Bryanpoprobson, who claim I do not use genuine NASA photos. I'll provide links to all the photos in the pre-report, and you will see they all come from the Apollo Lunar Surface Journal. You can bring them up and you can study them yourselves. Now, what we've got here is Apollo AS11-37-5466, and I can tell you, folks, the whistleblower's clue is not in this photo. Here is the next one, folks, AS11-37-5467, and what I can tell you is the whistleblower's clue is in this photo, folks. It is staring you in the face. Here we are, folks. We are now with this photo, AS11-37-5468. And as you can see, I've got marked yes. The whistleblower's clue is in this photo, and there's another whistleblower's clue as well, which I'll display later on. And what about this one? AS11-37-5469. And as you can see, I've got yes. And in this one, another very special whistleblower's clue, folks. Okay, we now with this photo, AS11-37-5555. And as you can see, I've got it marked yes. The whistleblower's clue is staring you in the face. Now, what we've got here is a photo from a different magazine, AS11-39-5802. Sorry, I missed the dash out there. But as you can see, I've got marked yes. The whistleblower's clue is in this photo, folks. And now, we're with this magazine, 39, AS11-39-5804. And as you can see, I've got it marked no. The whistleblower's clue that tells us all these Apollo photos are fake is not in this photo, folks. Now, here's a popular photo. It's supposed to be Buzz Aldrin, ready to salute the flag outside the LEM. And as you can see, I've got it marked no. The whistleblower's clue is not in this photo, folks. AS11-40-5875. Okay, folks. Pretty good photo here to study, to try and help you spot the whistleblower's clue. But what I can tell you, in this photo, AS11-40-5963. And as you can see, I've got it marked no. The whistleblower's clue is not in this photo, folks. Now we come to this photo, the LEM in the distance, AS11-40-5962. And as I can tell you, folks, as I got no here, the whistleblower's clue is not in this photo. Now folks, we with this photo here, AS11-40-5969. And as you can see, I've got it marked yes. The whistleblower's clue, folks, is in this photo. And many of you have seen this photo before. It's the one that when brightened up, the black shadow of Neil Armstrong turns out to be the green head of a man, as you can see here. And these numbskulls state there is no whistleblower's clues. Okay folks, we're now with this photo, AS11-40-5905. Wow, wow, wow. And definitely not in this one, folks. The whistleblower's clue is not in it. And here is the final photo for this video, folks, AS11-40-5916. And as you can see, I've got written here, definitely not in this one, folks. The whistleblower's clue is not in this photo. Well, there you are, folks. There's a chance for you all. Test your perception. See who can be the first to come along and spot the deliberate whistleblower's clue. And for those who deny that there are any clues, let me say this. Now, before I close here, let me just say, in the next video, when I display the whistleblower's clue, which I call it the whistleblower's clue, it can only be down to one of two things. Either gross incompetence and stupidity, or deliberate, clever whistleblowing to tell us the photos are fake. And I go with the latter, folks. Because when you see what the clue is, you'll know it was impossible for these photos to be taken as they are with a camera and without any other manipulation on a computer using Photoshop. Okay folks, before I leave this video, let me admit I've just had a very guilty feeling come over me. Somebody brilliant like myself, I shouldn't be taking advantage of these mentally insane NASA psychopaths, should I? So what I've decided to do, to help them with this video, to help them discover the whistleblower's clue, I've decided to throw them a lifeline. In the pre-report will be the link to another video of mine. If they study that first, they may find the whistleblower's clue in this video. Goodbye.